Now, on Thursday, minority political parties in Ghana will lock horns as they debate and share their policies and ideas on how they intend to govern the nation, if they win power, that is. In our build-up to this debate, today, your election headquarters hears from the All People's Congress flag bearer, Hassan Ayariga, who is promising an efficient national data system.
APC will put in a national data system that will capture details of every Ghanaian, from your fingerprint, from your facial recognition, from your, details, where you work, and put cameras all over the country in order to beef up security.
Isn't that what the MPP is doing already?
I don't know what they are doing. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. We've
seen some cameras in town.
I don't know how many.
When it comes to the national data system you refer to, they've talked about the Ghana card, they've talked about integrating all these DVLA card, Senate card, and everything. They said that that's what they want to do with it. They talk about digitization as well.
These are not. There's a difference between issuing a card and having a data.
The card has your data in the system.
No.
Okay, help us understand your data system.
The national data system of the APC is a special database that has features of every Ghanaian, from your workplace, from your blood group, from your fingerprint, facial recognition, the number of cars you have, where you live, the number of wives you have, how many children you have, how many properties you have.
The number of husbands you have too.
I don't know whether you have 10 husbands, that's or the number of girlfriends, that's your cup of tea. But I'm telling you that this is what we want to do.
I see.
And when we have that, we have a perfect picture and details of every Ghanaian. A data system means more than an institution like Ghana card. Okay. Ghana card institution, they issue card. Okay. Data system is like monitoring and having details of everybody. Look, when you go to the bank and take 5,000, it will definitely reflect in the system that you, Akusi, has gone to take 5,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. And we have proper information of you, your fingerprint.
So, 5 presidential aspirants, one stage in a fierce exchange of ideas on Thursday, that's just tomorrow, on your election headquarters. This is in partnership with Imani Ghana, and we're bringing you the minority parties debate from the UPSA auditorium at 8 p.m. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, will be hosting the debate with Emefa Apau. Evans is here with me to give us more details on this upcoming debate. So, Evans, what was the criteria for selecting these 5 parties? So
these, to qualify to be on the debate, you must have been visible. You must have policy proposals that you put out there in terms of the political party. And you, in essence, must have shown over the period that you are indeed engaging the people who, of course, you'll be seeking their votes on election day. And if you look at the CPP, Ivor Green Street, Hassan Ayariga himself, who, if you quite look at him, he's actually been doing a lot of pushing his stuff out there. He's been talking a lot about some of the things you want to do. You may disagree that some of them sounds over the top, but at least he has a certain blueprint that he's following. That is a criteria. Some of them, of course, didn't qualify, like NDP. Some have said, why don't you have the Nakanula Jamal Rawlings on it? Until she filed, I mean, there virtually was absolutely nothing about the NDP. And so she didn't qualify. And so we have the 5 who we're going to have tomorrow in the conversation at the debate. And we expect this to be lively. The last time we did this was the independent candidates debate, where we had the independent candidates on the stage. Feedback was it wasn't lively enough, as in the people were not exchanging and, sort of taking on each other's policy. The reason for that was that the independent candidates had formed an association. Okay. And the intention then was to, out of the association, get one person to be the presidential candidate and the second to be the running mate. And so they were sort of having a collaborative conversation. The the minority political parties are not the same. And they have put, diverging policies out there that will be interrogating. And so we expect this to be fireworks. I mean, if you have a Hassan Ayariga, you have Ivor Green Street, you have Madame Jubenuku, first female to be on that stage. We expect this to be pretty lively and expect some fireworks also.
Let's talk about the conduct of the debate proper, because the last debate, the independent candidates debate, one of the concerns that came up was that the candidates were not allowed enough time to answer the questions which were put to them. Is that going to change going forward?
Well, the thing about debates is that you don't have forever. You don't have infinite time. Time has been limited. And the thought behind that was, if you want to be a president, you must be able to articulate what you stand for in a minute or two. So that is not going to change. I mean, people have to get used to making your point succinctly within a particular time frame. We'll time you. I mean, we are used to, as a country, people talking on and repeating themselves. What we actually find what you find in the actual debate, the first debate, even people said the time was short. You still had candidates repeating points when they had finished because they felt they have to repeat it. We want to limit that and give more time. Listen to the presidential debates in the US.
Yeah.
Same. It's strict. If you have 2 minutes to make your point, 2 minutes is done, it's finished, you move on. And you'll be stopped. I mean, we need to get to that point where politicians and whoever speaks publicly respects the time and speaks within it.
You'd agree that even with the U.S. candidates, they don't even respect the time. Joe Biden and Donald Trump were overstepping the time.
Donald Trump did not care. I mean, but he, of course, and he's an outlier, definitely, as a president. I mean, but that is the thing. I don't think for this year in the U.S. they are giving us any example to follow. I mean, Trump certainly hasn't given an example to follow, but previously the times are allotted and you stick to it, and when it's time, it's time.
Right.
And so we're still going to expect and they know they've signed up to the protocols for the debate, and they're going to be adhering to it.
All right. What about audience participation? Is it open to the public or it's by invitation? And how can the audience interact, if at all?
So the difference between what we are doing tomorrow and the last one is this time we are having a significant audience participation, both from the auditorium and from social media. So we are setting aside about 20 or so minutes where audiences can come to the microphone and ask the question of them. And then we're also going to, whilst the debate is going on, we'll be sort of harvesting comments from social media that will read and project for everybody to see to the candidates who also sort of respond. So we're going to have a significant audience participation tomorrow, both in the auditorium and on social media. In terms of invitation and how you can be in the auditorium, it's by invitation only. But you could get to watch on all our platforms. We're going to be live here on the JoyNews channel, Joy 99.7 FM on radio, Love FM in Kumasi, all our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and myjoyland.com. And it's an 8 p.m. to 10:30.
10:30 p.m.
There's a 30 minutes more that we've added from the last time.
That's great. I'm sure it's from feedback we got the last time. Right? Very quickly before you go, just for those who don't understand the rationale of this particular debate, tell us why we're doing this.
The two main parties say they don't want to debate, but there's been a clamor, if you see, for people who are seeking to lead us to be on a stage so they can be interrogated. So if they aren't going to debate, we must create a space for the alternative views to be heard, and that's what we are doing in essence. With independent candidates debate, and some great ideas came up. We think that the minority political parties, PNC, CPP, PPP, and others, they are also putting out ideas that are alternative ideas to what the two parties are proposing. And they must have the space to articulate. Haven't you all complained that we don't have a third force? Part of that problem is that the media, haven't given enough space to the other political parties to express their opinions, so people who may not know may get, I guess, a sense of what they also stand for.
Should the blame be laid squarely at the doors of the media? Because, I mean, there are also criticisms of these parties themselves that they're not very organized, perhaps because they don't have the logistics or the funding. But, I mean, there's that concern as well.
I agree. I mean, for a media person, you are only interested in what the numbers say, right? And what the ratings and audience share. That's the most important consideration for you. And so the parties themselves have shot themselves in the foot by not being as useful to their constituents, and when I want to say constituents, the people who follow them, in order to, in the sense of investing in making themselves credible. They haven't made themselves credible enough, and so, like PNC they were fighting a lot until recently that they elected a presidential candidate with just a few weeks to an election. I mean, so clearly that's a problem. But another problem is that we haven't. You cannot blame the media solely, but you cannot also say we haven't been part of the blame. We can't take part of the blame in terms of giving them the space to also articulate what they stand for.
So that debate is coming off tomorrow at the UPSA Auditorium from 8 o'clock to 10:30. Okay, and it's live on all our channels,
all our
social media handles.
Absolutely.
Okay, very quickly before you go, I know that tonight you're also going to be, interrogating the policies of the two main parties. Tell us about that.
So this is the manifesto tracker we do every Wednesday on the PM Express, and tonight we are talking about the housing sector. So there's a housing sector debate, and they're picking from the manifestos. We start with the analysis. We with our friends from Imani and us have sat down. We've developed a very interesting analysis of both parties' interventions in the manifesto on housing. It's going to be very riveting. We're going to be challenging which policy, proposal, which party has designed proposals that meet people's needs, address the actual challenge of housing, or are they missing the point? And on the back of that analysis, we're going to have the housing minister, Atachian, and then we're going to have the minority spokesperson on housing, Mr. Bedra, here in the studio to take the questions. You've seen what has happened. Last week was explosive. You watched it with the two women.
Yes.
My toughest
social protection issues.
Yes. I thought social protection was going to be one of those things I breezed through.
Exactly.
It didn't turn out so. Yeah.
It was fireworks.
It was yeah, it was crazy. And so we expect tonight to be the same because housing is it affects.
Yes,
everybody.
definitely. There's a great housing deficit in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that. Thank you so much. That's Evans Mensah. He's head of our political desk here at Joy News.